you talked about Christ suffering, and something I've been thinking a lot about recently is how I feel like in our culture we have this assumption that suffering is bad, and if we're suffering we should try to end it right away. And especially in psychology, as I've been studying psychology, and I think that's wrong because I think there's a purpose in suffering. But it's hard to find that purpose when you're in the midst of it. So how do you find purpose in your personal suffering?
I think you remember the words that Lehi spoke to his son in 2 Nephi when he said, he prayed that the Lord would consecrate his afflictions for his gain. And to me, that's been like the master key. It's like God doesn't send afflictions. He didn't give your mother cancer. He didn't make your daughter get hit by the drunk driver. But any of that suffering that is inevitable in a chaotic universe subject to natural law is going to happen, and God's promise is that he can make that redemptive. I love Charles Taylor's definition of sin. I think it's the most inspired definition I've heard from anyone in recent years. He said, sin is our refusal to cooperate with God in the redemptive power of suffering. And so I don't think he sends suffering individually, but I think he orchestrates a world in which we are going to be exposed to it as the necessary crucible of spiritual formation and growth. But it's his power as an alchemist to turn that suffering into something beautiful that counts.